And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Kashish Gambhir, astral traveler from India who teaches mysticism from her direct experiences going beyond the books and theories. Kashish, thank you for joining me and welcome.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Kashish, how did you start astral traveling?
Well, I was a teenager when I had my first astral travel experience. And I was sleeping and I woke up. And when I woke up, I was on the roof. And I was seeing myself from the roof, laying there. So that was the first experience. And I was like, okay, what is happening? And then the experiences, they just kept on increasing as I progressed more and more on my spiritual journey. That is how it began.
Was there something going on in your life at the time that assisted you in leaving your body?
No, there was nothing specific going on in my life. I know that there are people who are who are led into the experiences because of some kind of near-death experience or because of maybe a trauma in their life. But when I had this experience, there was nothing going on in my life at that time. It was just a normal life going on.
It's my understanding that you've developed this into a way that you can do it when you're not sleeping, wide awake.
Yes.
How did you do that?
So when I had this first experience, after that, the curiosity, it increased a lot. And I wanted to explore more. I wanted to know what is happening. And then I started listening to some saints from India who had spoken about astral travel experiences. So I realized that this is not something new happening in the world. This has been happening over many hundreds of years. So people have accounts of their astral experiences. Rumi has account, Bulleh Shah, many great poets and saints have their accounts on astral traveling. So I thought that, you know what, this is not something that I want to restrict myself to only while sleeping. If this is real, then I know within myself that I can experience it otherwise also. And there has to be a way to experience that by myself. And I believe that when your desire for anything is really strong, then you find a way. So my desire for spiritual experiences and expanding my consciousness was extremely strong. And my spiritual journey held more priority for me than my school or college studies. So I was always focused more on this while I was also, carrying on with my life. So my journey on my spiritual journey, it kept on expanding. It kept on, expanding my consciousness. And that is how I realized that there are ways in the ancient Indian spiritual scriptures with where you can work on your consciousness in a way where you can, experience the astral realm while wide awake.
I'm guessing that you are and were at the time Hindu?
So I was born in a Hindu family, but as a 5-year-old child, I was already awakened and I was asking questions. I was questioning religion as a 5-year-old child. And my parents were really pissed off with me. They were like, why are you asking us all of these things? And even as a child, I was sitting in meditation, but I did not know the word meditation at that time. But I was sitting in meditation and my parents they told me that, they used to put me back on the bed at 3 a.m. I was always sitting down on the floor meditating. So I guess that was a carry forward from my past life. And a very interesting aspect of spirituality is that unlike our school studies where, we have to start every time we have a life on Earth or any other planet, unlike the school studies or any other skill, spiritual wisdom is something that is carried forward in your next lives. So you remember whatever wisdom you have gained in your past life. So I was retaining that wisdom and I was moving forward from there as a 5-year-old. And I was questioning religion. I was questioning everything. So I asked my parents, my teachers, so where is God? Nobody knew where is God. And I was in a Christian school, born in a Hindu family, going to a Christian school. My friends were, they were Christians, they were Hindus, they were Sikhs, Muslims, everyone. In India, we have all the religions. So everybody was coming to the school and I got confused, like everybody has their own God. What is this happening? So once I asked my friend, whom do you worship? She said, I worship Ganesha. My another friend said that I worship Jesus Christ. I'm like, this is something seriously wrong happening. So because everyone is saying there's one God. So are these all gods having a party in the sky? And you were saying that there is one God. So there was a lot of confusion there. And I wanted to get answers. And that is how my intensity towards spiritual journey had already started in my childhood. So when you say what I was I Hindu? I was born in a Hindu family. I explored many religions. Later on in life, when I had my spiritual teacher taught me from 4 different religions, mainly Hinduism, Sikhism, and Christianity. And he had mentions of other religions as well, teachings. So I had been taught from various religions, and eventually what I followed today is just love and humanity. That's it. That's what I follow. I believe in evolution of consciousness, and I guess that this is, I won't say I guess, I know that this is the only thing that is the most important and where we should as human beings head towards.
You talked about saints astral traveling,
Yes.
and I'm assuming those were Hindu saints.
So Rumi is not Hindu. You have heard of Jalaluddin Rumi?
Yeah, I've heard of Rumi.
Yes. So Rumi has extensively written about astral traveling. There's one very famous quote of Rumi where Rumi says that I travel without feet. I see with my eyes closed. So there, Rumi is actually referring to the astral traveling, because astral traveling is, you're not using your outer feet, your physical feet. You have moved inwards and you're traveling with your inner feet. You're not seeing with these 2 eyes. You're seeing with the inner eye, your third eye. So that is what Rumi is referring. Similarly, other saints from different religions have mentioned this as well. The Sikh saints, Guru Nanak Ji has mentioned, Bulleh Shah has mentioned. There are many saints from different religions. And if you talk about Hinduism, you asked me, then in Hinduism, Saint Kabir has extensively, he has written on astral traveling.
I guess my point was, is astral traveling in India something that's considered or thought of as normal? Like, do people consider that many people astral travel, or at least many religious people?
Since India is a country of 1 billion plus people, so I cannot really generalize this thing. And since this is something that most people are taught on the spiritual journey to protect their experiences, to not speak about their experiences, because when we speak about them, we lose a lot of powers, we lose a lot of memories of the experiences. So many people don't speak about it. So I cannot generalize as to how many people astral travel. We can only know how many people are, if somebody can astral travel specifically by raising our own consciousness and knowing that this person's consciousness is risen as well or not. So it is individual, it is subjective. You cannot generalize it for the whole country.
How often do you do it?
So now I'm at a stage where it's not about sleeping and astral traveling. I don't do that anymore. Now it's about experiencing the astral realm while wide awake. So what happens is that, okay, before I share this, I'll have to explain a little bit of concept of the third eye.
Okay.
Okay, so you asked me how often I astral travel. I'll have to explain a little bit about third eye. So See, the third eye is called the 10th door in Hinduism. Now it is called 10th door because our physical body has 9 doors, as the most of the saints consider and mystics consider. So the 9 doors are basically 2 eyes, nostrils, mouth, 2 ears, and 2 opening downside. So there are total of 9 openings that basically take our attention outside into the world. And there is only one opening, the 10th opening, that is the third eye, that takes our attention inwards and upwards. Okay. Now, as and when we keep expanding our consciousness, working on ourselves, and the more we go afar in our spiritual journey, the more we progress, what happens is that our concepts or beliefs keep on changing, because what we experienced before in the physical realm, now that doesn't work in the astral realm. Then when you cross the astral realm and you go to the causal realm, then what you learned in the astral realm, that doesn't work in the causal realm. Okay, so our experiences keep on changing. Now when we talk about, you asked me how often do you do astral travel. Now initially I started with the first experience, as I explained you before, it was when I was sleeping and I had the astral travel experience. Now I'm at a stage where while I'm working, while I'm doing anything, the veil between the physical and the astral realm has become thin. It has become so thin that I can experience the astral realm while being awake. So basically, see, our eyes, as you know, that the scientists say that our outer eyes, our physical eyes, they can see only 5% of this world, right? 5% of the world is visible. So what is that energy, that which is not visible? Basically, the realms of consciousness, they are all existing at the same time. It is our own limitation, and we ourselves are not working towards our consciousness, and that is why we are not able to experience those realms around us that make up the rest of the percentage. So the astral entities and the astral realm it can be experienced like this as well. You can reach that point in consciousness where the veil between the physical and the astral realm, it thins so much that the astral entities can interact with you while you are awake. So that's the next stage. So now I'm there. So when you say how often I astral travel, I guess that I interact with entities very often. So I cannot count how often. It's just like almost every day.
When you say astral traveling, is that the same as an out-of-body experience for you? And if so, like, do you get out of your body and fly around and see it lying there or sitting there?
Okay, so for this, we have to understand the difference between the near-death experience, the out-of-body experience, and the astral traveling. Okay, so basically what happens is that, as you asked me out-of-body, I'll just come to that. Now, a person can have this out-of-body experience. What happens in that? Your soul gets out of the body, your astral, or you can say your astral body gets out of the body, your physical body, and you can see your own physical body lying down. Okay. So we have 3 bodies. We human beings have 3 bodies. That is materialistic body or the physical body. Then we have the astral body. And then the third, we have the causal body. So right now in the world, many people that are awakening and they're experiencing the astral realm. So they're basically experiencing things with the astral body. So what is happening is that their astral body is coming out, and they can see their own self, their physical self lying down. So it is the astral body experiencing. Now, that is the out-of-body experience where you basically experience clearly where you have come out of your body, and you get a glimpse of, the astral realm where people can fly, where you can interact with other astral travelers. The next phase is that where you don't need to come out of your body. You can, because your third eye has opened, because you have progressed on your spiritual journey. So you have come to a place where, as I explained before, where the veil has thinned between the astral and the physical realm for you. For you, it has thinned, and therefore you can interact with the astral entities while in your physical form, because you have become one with your astral body. That veil has become so thin that now that difference of the separation is reducing.
Since the veil is so thin for you and you're interacting with astral entities during your waking life, does that ever confuse you? Like, are you interacting with physical people or non-physical people?
Initially, it did confuse me when I started. It did confuse me at that time. And when I was progressing and I progressed to the causal realm, then I studied. My spiritual teacher basically taught me that this confusion is obvious and it comes to everybody who is in the astral realm. At one point or the other, they realize that the voices, the inner voices that they're listening, or maybe the people, that entities that they're meeting, there are all kinds of entities there. There are all kinds of voices. So, okay, I'll have to explain the basics for this. Basically, that is how I also cleared my foundation. So, let me just explain you with this. Can you see the page?
Yes.
Okay, I can just maximize this like this. Okay. So, let me divide this into 3 realms. Okay. The lowest one is the physical realm. Okay. Then there is astral realm, and then there is the causal realm. Now we know that the physical world, the lowest one here, okay, the physical world is duality, right? It is good and evil, black and white, right? Now, what most people don't know at the moment is that the astral realm and the causal realm are also duality. So the good and evil, they operate in the astral and the causal realm as well. Unless and until a soul passes the causal realm, the third level of consciousness, it cannot, it lives in the duality. It cannot pass the duality. But after this third level of consciousness, the causal realm, the duality gets over. There is only oneness there.
Let me stop you for 1 second. Can you tell us about the causal realm before we move forward and what that is?
Okay. So the causal realm is considered the realm of the mind. Okay. It's considered the realm of the mind where the mind rules. And when a soul reaches the causal realm, it realizes that in the physical realm as well as in the astral realm, the experiences that it was having, it was a mixture of the mind, the experiences that it was getting from the mind, and the experiences that it was getting from the spirit. So the positive and the negative experiences both come to the person. Basically, what happens is that the spirit sends you all the positive messages, the love and faith, the positive experiences, and it wants you to live in that love and light. But the mind, it wants to keep you in this world of duality. It doesn't want you to exit the matrix. And therefore, it keeps you in fear and anxiety, and it sends you visions of, that the world is going to end, everything is going to end, and it sends you such visions. So many people, even when they're in the astral realm, they keep believing, okay, this is going to happen, everything is going to end, and they go into that direction. Sometimes mind tells you the truth and it does happen, and sometimes it leads you to the path where a thing that is even not going to happen, it still sends you the vision, because in truth, we are made in the image of God. In truth, we are the creators of our own life. Just like God, we are creating our own life. And the mind doesn't want you to have that kind of awakening, have that awareness where you realize that you are the creator of your own life. Therefore, it keeps sending you such fearful, anxietyful messages where you remain in that matrix forever and never get into that love and light. So when you talk about what is the causal realm, at the causal realm, you basically come to a realization that in the realms below, in the physical level of consciousness on earth, in the astral realm and the causal realm, in all these 3 realms, you were getting messages from 2 sides, from the positive, the spirit side, and from the negative, the mind side. And then you realize that I need to learn how to distinguish between these 2 things. So that is what the whole causal realm is about.
Why does the mind not want you to realize that you're a creator?
Mind wants you to stay in the matrix forever. It wants you to live in this cycle of birth and death and keep coming and never awaken to the truth. So mind is something that is, how does this mind operate? We need to understand this. It operates through the thoughts, through the visions, through the speech of people. It sends fearful messages, the dark and the negative things through people. So when people speak such things, it basically affects the listeners. And when it affects the listeners, they stay in the vibration of fear. And when they stay in the vibration of fear, they stay in the matrix. If you want to exit the matrix, the most important thing is you raise your vibration. You come into the vibration of love and light. So mind doesn't want you to. There's a detailed study on this in the Indian spiritual scriptures. And unless a person actually starts experiencing all these things, you don't actually explore it. You start exploring the details only when you are experiencing the astral realm, when you are experiencing the other realms. Then you start understanding that there are all kinds of entities. There's not just negative entities, there are positive entities too. So there are entities who help me, and there are entities who would just obstruct everything that I'm doing. So they work on the level of energy where, yeah, that's about it.
You said that we're in a matrix.
Yes.
Is that something that is created by us collectively or by somebody else?
Oh, I used to ask the same question so many times from my spiritual teacher. That's a very good question. And the weird thing is that even if I explain it, it won't satisfy you. The answer won't satisfy you. The answer can only be experienced. But I will try explaining it. So there is supreme consciousness, or as we call the creator, that is experiencing itself through us. We are the different expressions of that supreme consciousness, the little droplets of that supreme ocean. And it's experiencing everything itself. It has created everything itself. But because we are made in the image of that supreme consciousness or the creator, we also have that power to create new things. And those who awaken, they understand, they come to the realization that they have that power to create things, to become more in life. And those, like we discussed before, those who remain in the vibration of fear and darkness, they never come to that realization. So they stay in this matrix or this illusion that the physical world is the only world that is there to experience, that, going to the job, eating, drinking, and sleeping is the only world, the life that we have. And only those who awaken, they come to the realization that physical world is not the only thing. There are other realms to be experienced. I need to lead myself to the expansion of my consciousness and understand the true meaning of this human life. Realize that I am the part of the creator, that I am also the creator.
Since our mind is trying to keep us here and feeding us fear, can you give us some practical tips to be able to escape the matrix and rise above the fear?
Yes. I'll tell you the simplest one. The simplest one is to connect ourselves to the ones who are already awakened. Because the company affects us the most, whoever we company, So if I have the company of friends who are awakened, I will eventually awaken. Or if I'm listening to people who are awakened, I will eventually awaken. And the higher the consciousness of the person that you are listening or the teacher that you're following, the more your consciousness will also rise. That is the easiest way, that is to connect to the people who are already awakened. The second is to keep yourself in the vibration of love and faith. I have listened to, I've come across many episodes on many podcasts, and even yours also, and many other podcasts, where people are saying, the world is going to end, we should stock up things, and this and that. The world is going through dark phase. The point is that when was the world not going through these darker things? There have been wars before. There's still planning of wars going on, and the problems will be there in the future as well. The problems are going to sustain as they were in the past, they are in the present, they will be in the future. Because the whole point is that we should work on ourselves, on our own individual selves, where we detach ourselves from those problems. And we learn to be happy, be at peace while staying in that chaos. The world was always like this. The world was always in chaos before. It is chaos today, and it's going to be there because this is supposed to be, as Swami Vivekananda said once, this is a training ground for our souls. So we all have problems in life. Some people, they learn to deal with these problems. And those who decide that, you know what, I'm going to deal with this problem, I'm going to find out a solution. Those who work hard to finding solutions, they focus on the solution, they move ahead in the journey of, they step up in the journey of evolution. And those who keep crying all the time, that, you know what, this is happening in the world, that is happening, I should not care about my studies, I should not care about my job, because anyway, the world is going to end. So then you have to get the consequences of your own actions. The world is going to be like this. There is, again, I would refer you, Rumi, very beautiful. Rumi was so enlightened, and he had a wonderful spiritual journey. Rumi said that when I was clever, I wanted to change the world. But now I'm wise, and I just want to change myself. So when you become wise, you understand you cannot change the world. The world is going to be like this. You just have to work on yourself. And I want to give you an example about this. Say, let's take a scenario where, your country is going to war with another country. And it's only your country and another country that are going to this war. The other countries are at peace. Now, if you have not worked on your own self, if you have not worked on the materialistic aspect of your life, the money aspect of your life, or if you have not worked on the spiritual aspect of your life and other aspects of your life, you're going to suffer because you never worked on yourself. You were worrying about what's happening in the world. And when it reached your country, you don't have the money, you don't have the peace of mind where you can sustain that challenge, we can stand, But if you just work on yourself, then what will happen? Suppose there is one person who works on himself and doesn't care about, I know it sounds selfish, but eventually that is where you lead after evolution. That is where Rumi also reached. That is where everybody reaches, that you can only change yourself. So if you change yourself, if you work on the materialistic and the spiritual aspects of your life, what will happen? Your country is going to war and you have the money because you worked on that materialistic aspect, right? Now you have the money. What will you do? You will use that money and you will quickly go to another country where there is peace. So you are saved. And if you've worked on the spiritual aspect, you already have learned to stay in peace even in the midst of chaos. So no matter what is happening, you are still in peace. So it comes down to only one thing. You work on yourself, not on what is happening around. It is important to know what is happening around so that you can take your decisions and your steps accordingly for yourself and your family and your immediate, say, members. If you're taking care of a society, so you can take care of that society. If you're taking responsibility of 20 or 30 people, you can take care of those 30 people. But you will be able to take care only when you are focused on raising yourself materialistically and spiritually. But if we keep crying on what is happening and do not lead ourselves to the karma, the actions of improving ourselves spiritually and materialistically, then we are going to stay in that vibration of fear and anxiety.
You're saying to live in a vibration of love and light, basically. And it sounds
Yes.
easy when you make that statement, but I mean, how do you practically stay in that vibration?
So the first thing I already told you, that you stay connected to people who are awakened. And staying connected doesn't mean making physical friend. Staying connected could also be staying connected with someone online, with people who are awakened. Nowadays we have YouTube, and people are listening to people on YouTube, so you can stay connected with people who are awakened, those who are speaking on awakening, who are leading you to awakening. You can stay connected with them. Second thing, you place faith, utmost faith in the Creator. The Lord never sends messages of fear. The Lord never wants his children to be in anxiety. The Lord never wants them to, live in grief and sadness. The Lord wants you to live in love and light. So you need to have that faith that whatever is happening for my greatest good. One thing important is that when I say that statement, I also mean, when I say that something is happening for my good, it also means that I am making my own efforts to achieve the goal that I want to achieve. It doesn't mean that I'm sitting in my room doing nothing and I'm saying, God will take care of everything. And, I need to have faith. That is not how it works. You need to work on yourself as well. You need to do your karma. You need to work towards your goals and have faith in God that everything will work fine for me, for my family, and for the people that I'm taking care of. So that is the second thing, that you need to have faith. The third thing to leading oneself to higher vibration is something that I have experienced with my clients. So I have had cases where people are experiencing evil spirits, many cases like that. And in some of those cases, what has worked, a very simple thing has worked, and that is speaking with assertiveness and commanding the evil spirit to go away. So when we say how to remain in the vibration of highest vibration, in the vibration of love, you basically have that conviction in yourself that I am the part of the Creator. I'm the drop of that supreme ocean, that source. And therefore, nothing can harm me. And with that confidence, with that assertiveness, you command the evil to go away from your life. That is the third thing. The fourth thing is the kind of music that we listen to. The kind of music that we listen to makes a lot of difference. Nowadays, when many people have progressed on their awakening journey and their intentions are not same of everyone. Some people have bad intentions, some people have good intentions, some people want to use their powers for controlling others, and some people want to use it to progress on their spiritual journey and for good. So people have different intention. And what kind of music we listen to, sometimes now what is happening is that some people with good energy, they are sending you music. They're creating music with that good energy so that it spreads into the world. So when you listen to any music, you have to understand how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel good, if the vibration is good, you should continue with similar kind of music. So that is the fourth thing. Fifth thing is obviously that we all also practice in the spiritual realm, and that is meditation practices to keep your vibration high. And there are certain specific mantras to keep your vibration high. One very easy mantra is that of Om. It is available on YouTube as well. So you can look for 108 chants of Om. And Om is called the sound of the universe, which scientists have also discovered, they can listen to the sound of Om. So that is the sound that you can listen to and you can raise your vibration. And the sixth one is in the Sikhism, I refer to different religions because I just pick up all the good things from different religions and whatever is useful. So in the Sikhism, there is something called Shabad Kirtan. So what is Shabad Kirtan is basically they have gotten all this very powerful spiritual hymns together and then they chant it every single day. So there is a golden temple in the state of Punjab in India. And this golden temple, they are doing this Shabad Kirtan every single day, and it's been so many years. They have not missed this one single day. So it is so powerful. It just keeps your vibration high, and it is available on YouTube as well. So if you search for Shabad Gurbani, or you can just search for Gurbani at Golden Temple. So Gurbani at Golden Temple will give you those Shabad Kirtan. And they also have those subtitles below where they are explaining what they're saying, because the Gurbani is in the Punjabi language. It actually worked for one of my clients. She was a Christian and she was having an evil spirit in her home. And she had tried everything. And I said, before we do meditation, before we practice the mantra, just try this. And it actually worked out for her. So that is why I mentioned this one, because it has been powerful for many people. So because she could not understand Punjabi, it's in the Punjabi language. So what she did was that whenever she used to leave for work for 2-3 hours, she played that Gurbani on speakers. So her house started having that positive vibration. So when she came back, she used to listen to it for 15-20 minutes only because she couldn't understand it. But that vibration started expanding and that evil spirit actually went away. So it is very powerful. So that is why I say the sixth one is the Shabad Gurbani. These are the 6 ones that I recommend.
I was going to ask, should we sing along or chant along with it? But I think you've answered me that
it's your wish. It's your wish.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What matters is it is being played. And of course, if you are in the presence of that, then it will affect your soul also, na? If you are in the presence of when it is being played, then your soul will also be affected. Your vibration will also, because she wanted to change her house vibration, it was only in her house. The spirit was only in the house. So if you want to bring a change in your own life, then you can sit in the presence, even a 5-minute presence. You will see the change with just 5-minute presence. So listen to it for 5 minutes and read those subtitles, the explanations that they're giving. It's so beautiful. And it is not connected. I don't think it is religion specific. They are teaching the highest spiritual teachings. Beautiful.
Is it necessary to protect yourself while you're astral traveling or having an out-of-body experience? And if so, how do you do that?
Is it necessary? That necessary comes when you experience the wrong kind of entities. Unless you haven't experienced, then that necessary doesn't come, So only if you have experienced some entities that are affecting you in a way that is obstructing your life and reality, then you find that, yes, it is necessary to have the protection. And your second question is how to have that protection in the astral realm. We have tried a lot of ways to protect ourselves in the astral realm. When I say we have, it means me and my clients. But the one way that has worked flawlessly for everyone, and it lets go of all the evil spirits, all the entities, when nothing works, is the practice of Shabad. So there's a spiritual technique called the Shabad technique. In the Indian spiritual scriptures, it is considered the highest spiritual technique that a human being can practice. And what happens in that technique is that when you practice it, you connect yourself to the Shabad or the Holy Spirit, as you say in Christianity. Okay. So the Christians call it the Holy Spirit, the Sikhs call it Shabad, the Hindus call it Naam. And it is referred to by different term in different religions, but they're talking about the same thing. So that technique helps you go inside, raise your soul to different realms, and become more powerful than any evil entity out there in the inner realms. When it makes you more powerful, you can face anyone, come what may. And I found this technique after 10 years of search. It's not something that was easy to find. People around me didn't know it, but I intuitively knew at that time when I was a teenager that there's some spiritual treasure in the world that will help me progress infinitely. And it was this. And I found it after 10 years. And I shared with you right now so easily.
Have you had any experience with UFOs? And if not, what is your opinion on them?
I have had experience.
What kind?
I was traveling. I went to Jammu. It's a state in India. And at 4 a.m., I was sitting under the sky looking at the stars. And I saw suddenly, I was constantly gazing at the stars. And suddenly, there are 3 stars in a triangular form. Very huge, bright stars in a triangular form. They all started moving together. Like, in symmetry. I was like, hey, what is happening? And then I realized that it's not exactly a star. They are hiding themselves as star. It's a spaceship. It started moving and then it in a flash of a light, it just disappeared like this. So I realized that at that time, it was a spaceship. And there was one more experience of spaceship, which I cannot disclose. It's something personal. So if you say, I believe in UFO, yeah, of course I believe in it. I know it is there. Believe is a wrong word. When you have experienced something, you move from believing to knowing. So I know that they are there. And you can know that even when you start traveling inside. When you start traveling inside, then you can experience beings from other planes of other planets as well. So it's not just something outside, you can experience inside as well.
While astral traveling, have you been to any other places like the Akashic Records or the Halls of Amenti?
I've been to any other places. Yes, I have been to other places. But Jeff, I'm not allowed to speak about that because I have spoken a lot previously, and as I mentioned in the during the starting of our podcast, that when we speak about our experiences extensively, it affects our spiritual journey. We do lose powers as well. So what I can tell you is only what I can tell you is what people have experienced, as in what you can experience if you astral travel. Okay. You can experience different planets. You can experience the places on Earth that you have never been to. You can meet people that you've never seen in your life, not online, not physically. You can see the people that you're going to meet in future. You can have experiences that our mind is not programmed to imagine. Something that will raise your curiosity for life so much so that you will be like, what was I doing before this? You know? But you can experience places, people, things, concepts that are not existing in the world. When I say concept, that then say a chair is a concept, right? So we know, so somewhere it started, the concept of chair started somewhere. So there are concepts that are not yet there in this world, because the astral realm is the realm of ideas. So as Socrates and Plato, they mention in their work years ago during their existence, they mentioned about astral realm, and they said that that world is more real than this world, because once you start experiencing that world, you can extract ideas from there. You will realize that this world is basically a reflection of that world, and all the ideas come from the astral realm to the physical level of reality. So even if people are going through a lot of problems in life, if you expand your consciousness and you lead yourself to the astral realm, you will start getting solutions to everything almost immediately, because that's the world of ideas. You can extract the ideas from the supreme consciousness. So how else can we explain the astral realm better than this? I think that is what it is. It's beautiful.
Do you consider yourself a medium? And to follow up with that, do you speak to people who have died and are existing on the other side and relay messages from them back to people here?
I was practicing mediumship for a year or so. And yes, I have interacted with the people who have moved on. But during my practice, I realized that if you keep doing that, if you keep being a medium, then you stop moving on in your own spiritual journey. So if you want to practice mediumship professionally and just, enjoy that for a while, people do that. But if you want to explore more on the spiritual journey, what's inside, I want to know more about inner spiritual realms. I want to know more about powers. I want to have more powers. I want to see what's more. If you have that curiosity in you, like I have a lot of curiosity like that, so then you have to move on from it. Then you have to let it go. And you have to keep your meditation, you have to intensify more of your meditation. You have to go deeper into that. And then you will realize that mediumship is just a stoppage. It's just like a bus stop in the entire journey. And those who stop there, they're practicing, they're mediums, they are giving messages, and that works. That's true. That works. I have done that for a year.
Some people wear a bindi, which is the red dot on your forehead. Is that a Hindu thing, or are there other spiritual reasons for wearing it?
It was started by Hindus, but it is practiced by people from different faiths as well, if you understand what it means. So the reason why this wearing red dot started many years ago was because people in the ancient times, they realized that the entire spiritual journey is about dhyan or attention. Where your attention goes, there the soul goes. So they realized that if you keep your attention on the third eye, then your soul will go upwards. And if you keep your attention in the world, nowadays we have social media, it keeps our attention in the world. So if you keep your attention outside, then you won't be able to progress in your inner spiritual journey. So when those sadhus and highly conscious people, they realized that we need to keep our attention here. So the women, they started a practice of wearing bindi. Just so whenever they see themselves in the mirror, they're reminded of that I have to keep my attention here. And the men, they started putting tilak. So tilak is a paste of chandan and turmeric. So they put the tilak like this, like a tika, just so they remember always that they have to keep their attention here on the third eye and always pull their attention towards the third eye upwards. So it was just as a reminder. One more thing, you asked me about the red dot. So although people wear bindi, the dots could be of any color. But initially it started like a red dot. And it started red dot because red bindi denoted that it denoted the union of the soul to the supreme soul, to the people who started this concept. It denoted that my soul has become one with the Lord. It has reached the source and I'm out of this matrix. So it's not this matrix, this concept of getting out of the cycle of birth and death is not something new. It has been there for ages. It's just that now more and more people in the world are awakening. That is why we are discussing about these concepts extensively. So the red dot denoted the marriage of the soul to the supreme soul. That is why the red dot is. Nowadays, women, they wear red dots, bindis with their, on the parties, and everywhere, just as a trend. Now it has become a trend. Very few people remember that they have to keep their attention on the third eye. They wear it because it has converted into a culture thing, wear the bindi,
Since you're going to exit the matrix, where are you going once you move on from here?
Anybody who exits the cycle of birth and death. What basically happens when someone exits the cycle of birth and death is just the realization that comes from the experience that we are a part of the source, that we have descended from the source through different realms of consciousness, reaching here in the physical realm and experiencing ourselves as a person, as a human being. So you would have heard this saying, we are spiritual beings going through a human experience, right? So that is why this whole saying is there, because we are spiritual beings. And when we get out of the matrix, we just realize, we awaken to the truth that we are spiritual beings. And this is just a physical experience on earth that we are going through. And that realization will come only through experience and not otherwise. So when we say that someone has exited the matrix, it means that someone has raised their consciousness to a level where they have become one with the source, where they don't have to come again in this physical reality on earth and learn the lessons that earth has to offer. You don't have to learn those lessons again and again. You have learned your lessons and now you have become one with the source. That is what it means. There is no external physical being sitting out there. It's just supreme consciousness.
If we get back to aliens, are they just other beings in this realm like us, or are they something else?
So what is alien? Alien is basically something that is not of our planet. It is otherworldly. It could be a being from any other planet, right? That is alien to us. So when you ask beings like us, those beings could look like us, yes, and they may not look like us. And as per my experience, there are all kinds of beings. There are beings that look like us, and there are beings that do not look like us. And a very interesting thing I want to share with you about aliens is that you can raise your consciousness in a way where if someone else is having an experience with an alien on Earth, okay, someone is experiencing aliens, say, in another country. So with your consciousness, you can witness that also. So in a way, you also have that experience. So that's a wonderful thing. It is so important to work on our consciousness. We can have so many experiences in one go while sitting in one place.
When you say somebody's having an experience with an alien, let's say in another country, does that mean physically, like the aliens here on the planet, or they're witnessing
Yes.
wow.
Yeah. Say if a spaceship does come and they do witness the alien, whether the aliens are killed by the government or not, that's a different thing. But you can also witness it through your consciousness. So while some people, they do have alien experience only in the consciousness, not physical. Many people have experience in the consciousness only, where they are probably abducted by aliens, because that is there. The alien may be working with their soul, right? But there have been instances on Earth where physically the alien has landed and it has not been disclosed to the people. But those who have worked on their consciousness, they can see what has happened. They can see that what measures the government has taken. And they're probably threat to the government as well, such people, because they can disclose everything about the government.
Do you think that there are aliens walking among us here on the planet and we just can't recognize them?
Yes.
All right. Do you think that
I don't think I know.
you've seen them?
Yes.
Are they cloaked? Like, are they showing a human form when they're not human, or are they just humanoid aliens from another planet?
You cannot differentiate between them if they're walking amongst people in a crowd. If you don't have a risen consciousness where you can see the souls of people, you cannot know. But if you have reached a place where you can see the souls of people, you will know that this soul is not from this planet, and you will see through them. You will know that they're not demons.
What do you think about the Vimanas in the ancient text? Are those UFOs in your opinion?
Yeah, I guess that is what they mentioned. I believe so. We were not in those times, so they know the exact thing what they said, but Vimanas were actually the UFOs they were referring to. That is what, in my opinion, it was. Vimana is just a Hindi word for the UFO. It's just a terminology difference. Many people confuse things because of terminologies. They confuse concepts, while so many things are we're just talking about the same things with different terminologies. We should not confuse ourselves. If you're talking about Vimanas as in aeroplanes, so that could be one thing as well, because Vimana is basically the Hindi translation of aeroplane as well. So that could also be one of the meanings.
Would you consider yourself to be a guru? And if so,
No.
no, okay.
I can tell you why.
All right.
So in India, what really has been taught, has been passed on in the spiritual lineage, is that a guru, a perfect living master, is someone that is one with the Holy Spirit. And not only one with the Holy Spirit, I mean, there are the others also who are, but they have been given the responsibility. They have been passed on the responsibility to take the souls, to pull the souls back to the Supreme Souls. Like their life's work is this, to pull the souls back to the Supreme Soul. Now, when it comes to me, I'm just a teacher. I'm teaching, educating people from what I have learned from my spiritual master. My spiritual master is a guru. He has been given this responsibility. He is a spiritual teacher of the head of the highest spiritual organization in the world. And I've learned from the best. He is a guru. I'm just a teacher that is sharing all the teachings, and I can help people until the point where I myself has reached. So my spiritual teacher has given me this responsibility to help people in their third eye journey, in opening their third eye and leading themselves to astral and causal realms and beyond. So I can help people only in these three realms right now.
Are you able to see the future in any way? And if so, do you see people moving into a new earth or staying with the old earth or what we already have?
So first of all, when we talk about new earth, many people mistake this for some physical new earth that is there. There is no physical new earth. New earth basically means the new earth in our consciousness. So there are thousands of souls awakening across our planet, and they have transcended into this new earth consciousness. Now, what this new earth consciousness is basically, it means that you have transcended yourself, your soul, into a place of completion, into a place of where there is only positivity, where there's only light, where you realize that from now on, I'm going to be the creator of my own life, and I'm going to write my life myself, where you have come to this realization. So there are many awakened souls that have come to this realization, and they want to stay in that new earth consciousness. Now, when we talk about the old earth is basically what many psychics, they talk about, the world is failing, the wars are going to happen, things are going to happen. They have been happening, they are going to happen, but it won't affect the individuals that will transcend into the new earth consciousness. So it's basically like those people who are in the new earth consciousness, who have awakened themselves there, everything will just stop sort of affecting them. When I say stop affecting them, what it means is that even if it is there, somehow these people will be taken far away from those things that are happening, So you will automatically be sort of subtracted from that scene where the suffering is happening. It's because you have realized that I'm the creator now, and I don't want this kind of place to live in, And the people in the old earth consciousness, they just don't accept it. They just want to know, okay, if something wrong is happening in the future, and as we discussed before, that the mind does send such negative messages, fearful messages, so that we stay in this matrix. And what will happen is that even if it is not going to happen, because you believe that it is happening, you will start acting in that direction. And when you start acting in that direction, the fruits will be of the seeds that you have sown. If you have sown the seeds of fear and you have acted accordingly, then of course the fruits will be like that. But if you have sown the seeds of confidence and faith and just reaching your goals every single day, then the fruits will be accordingly. So where do you want to land into? Do you want to land into the new earth consciousness or stay in the old earth consciousness? And you have to start with understanding only one thing, and that is present moment awareness. That is every single day of your life. It is accumulating to create your future, to create your destiny. So every single day of your life, you have to be mindful what I'm doing right now. And if you're mindful of that, then your future will also be beautiful. It's as simple as that.
Many people talk that we're either in or we're going to enter the ascension, and we're going to be moving from 3D to 5D. Is that the same thing as the new Earth?
Yes, it is pretty much the same thing. Yes. You can again play with the words, but it's pretty much the same thing. And it's easier to say. It's very easy to say that we are ascending, but it's all about the practical aspect. If we are not practicing in our own lives on a daily basis, then it's not going to happen. We have to get that into our actions.
If people want to find out more about what you're up to, should they go to your YouTube channel or your website?
They should go. Actually, I was more active on my Hindi channel, but now I have just started my English YouTube channel as well. I started 2 weeks ago. So you can go to my YouTube channel, Kashish Gambhir in bracket English, and my website is kashishgambhir.com. I believe if someone is already going through a lot on their spiritual journey, then the articles on my website will help them. There are a lot of things about the sound of ringing in the ears. They are in much, much detail you won't find anywhere. So it can really help you out.
Well, before we finish up, can you leave us with a last positive message?
I would just say, make an effort to stay in love and light. Do not give weightage to the messages of fear. Make an effort to stay in love and light. That's the only thing I want to say.
Kashish, thank you for your message, and thank you for being my guest.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.